Hello, everybody. This is Noah and John, and we are with UrbanDigs. And today, Johnny, we are talking Manhattan. And I am honored and proud. We got a good one today, Johnny. Lisa Simonsen over at Brown Harrod Stevens. This is a mega producer in New York, in Florida, in California. Top 0.5%. That's 0.5, John. 0.5% across the country. 2 decades in this business, institutional clients, high net worth individuals. It's incredible what you're pulling off here. Lisa, thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. I'm going to start right now. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's go. Everyone wants to know from your eyes, what is going on in the state of the New York City real estate market today?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Hi, Noah. Hi, John. And everyone always loves talking about real estate anyway, but especially with everything that's been going on recently, this is a hot topic. And right now, October was the hottest market in terms of signed contracts since 2021. So the market is very robust right now.
Yeah, and that's a new thing, right? I mean, we haven't had that in a while. Isn't it strange before the election? I mean, you wouldn't have expected it, this 1 month, 2 month pop in activity. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the numbers are the numbers. Don't believe the hype. And, I'm not here predicting what's going to go on over the next, year or 2 years. But right now, just giving you the facts, we've had a very strong October. And I like to always say this. I have 3 children in private school. And for everybody that thinks that, everyone's leaving, I kind of wish they would for like the next 4 months while I place my kids, because they're not all leaving. It's as competitive as ever. There's, the new wave in New York has been private clubs. They're very long a long waiting list. So, it's New York is New York. It's very resilient. And listen, there are maybe people that are leaving, and there's also people that, of course, are coming. So it all ends up, in the wash.
Yeah, and I just want to dig into that for a little bit. Listen, Lisa, you see an incredible amount of deal flow come across your desk, and I'm wondering, is this hot market mentality? Is this a low to high thing, or is it mainly still focused on the luxury, 2 million, 4 million plus segment, or are we seeing a little bit more of a broad distribution in terms of the enthusiasm for this market?
Yeah, I think we're seeing both. I mean, I think we're seeing both, and I think sometimes, this can be played on both sides. Friend of mine just put something into contract for around 20 million. It had been on the market for 10 years. So, is this also helping deals solidify? So, you can come at this many ways. We have done several deals in the last few weeks around the $5 million mark. So we're definitely not seeing at this time a slowdown.
Gotcha. Right. And Lisa, I'm just curious, what about the Upper East Side? For the longest time, the Upper East Side, a lot of pre-war, a lot of co-ops going on over there. And, with higher maintenance and local law 97, a lot of things, they were kind of trading at a discount for a while, kind of underperforming. But I'm hearing anecdotally, and I would like you to see if you can clarify or validate this. Is there some type of revival happening in the Upper East Side?
My favorite question, no, I'm glad you've asked me this. I live on the Upper East Side, so I'm partial to the Upper East Side. But the Upper East Side for a while was a little bit of a sleeper, wasn't getting a great reputation. And over the last year or so, prices have definitely increased. I think that it's clean, it's safe. That's where a lot of the best private schools are. Again, going back to the private clubs, a lot of hot new clubs. So the Upper East Side is now a hot spot for sure.
It is. I mean, so I live on the Upper East Side too, and just walking up and down 2nd Avenue, 3rd Avenue, the amount of new construction along those, and just that new dev market on the Upper East Side, it's incredible.
Incredible. And the thing, it's funny that you say that, John, because I was walking the other day, for a mile or whatever it was. There were so many new restaurants. And again, trying to get into restaurants that, are just, you sort of think are the new local something. They're everywhere. It feels packed right now. There's an excitement that you definitely can feel on the Upper East Side. So the Upper East Side is definitely hot right now, for sure.
Great. Can I pivot? I like to pivot because, Lisa, I mentioned earlier, you are on top of the mountain. You're like the guru who's just like looking down, the people are approaching, and we want to sort of tap into some of that wisdom. And I'm just curious, I have to ask, so what, in your opinion, are some of the attributes of success in the real estate game? What are the red flags, the negative attributes that you can tell that someone, look, you're just not going to make it?
You know, John, I love that question because I've always found it interesting studying people. It's like looking at two identical twins that grew up in the same household. How come one is doing so well and the other one? So it's such an interesting and deep question. But there's some obvious factors, and I also surround myself with people that are a lot smarter than I am. I like to be around, people that are really on their A game that I can always learn from. And there's no question there are, of course, differences in successful people, and we'll just keep this to real estate, but there are definite musts for if you look at the top tier. And resilience. A friend of mine years ago told me, he's one of the top sort of players in the city, that he can tell someone when they do cold calls, because he said someone that's sort of not going to really make it after like 50 calls, it's like, oh, forget it. Someone who's going to be successful is already, 80 calls into it. And then someone who's really successful, if they think of 100 calls at their 98th call, and they're like, I'm almost there. This is fantastic. So you've got to have a passion. You have to be resilient, and you really have to be able to take constructive criticism, feedback. I tell my kids that when they're, oh, I don't like this, or they're complaining. I'm like, people yell at me all the time. They call me names. It's a bit of an exaggeration. But nevertheless, this is not a business for the thin of heart, or whatever the expression is. So you have to be passionate and resilient. And most of the time, and I think this is the truth for successful people, what we're doing doesn't happen or work. So that's why we have to have many balls in the air and constantly be looking for business. That's the other thing. When you're like, oh, there's not much going on. When I hear that, that's not someone I want on my team. Because if you think there's not much going on, you can go over there, because you have to make it happen. And I always like to look out my window. It's New York City. There's opportunity on every corner. You got to be creative and resilient. Pardon me. You can
No, I love what you're saying over here, because listen,
Love
on one level, there's a lot of well-greased machines out there, and those well-greased machines are not really. I
just looked at my new team member, and I'm like, right? I told her I wanted her to listen to this. It's like,
no, but the well-greased machines, just to get this point across, they don't want to listen to anyone. They don't want to. They just have their ways, and they just do their ways. I love how you have this open-minded. You got to learn. You got to surround yourself with successful people. Absorb the different things that they're doing. And on the other side, you're talking about. I talk to a lot of agents, and all they're doing is telling me how bad it is, and how slow it is, and how nothing's going on.
Kiss of death. I don't want to hear that.
And secretly in my head, I'm wondering, well, what are you doing? What are you doing every day for 6-7 hours today to try to reverse that? Because I know there's agents out there calling 100 people today.
That's
right.
Again, when I hear the complaints, or even with the election, it is what it is, and nothing's changed. And listen, maybe the other deals will get done because someone else is, I have lots of friends sending me, oh wow, your business is going to be great, all these people leaving, you're leaving, can I sell your house? So it's mindset and how you're looking at things.
And I love this conversation, because you're absolutely right. I mean, it is a long road, and this is a hard road to be successful in real estate. However, you look out the window and there is opportunity on every single corner. And I guess I'm curious, Lisa, when you're looking at folks coming up, is real estate is one of the things you either have it in your blood or you don't. I mean, do you think it can be taught, those skills to success, or you just have to have it as sort of part of your nature?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, I think hunger, drive. I have a 13-year-old, and he's now at the age I've said to him, okay, because if you're 4, 5, 6, whatever, you can't do that. But now I'm showing him. I am not going to go off track, but he's been doing homework, laying down on the sofa with the headphones on. And let's just put it this way: are the marks aren't what I was hoping for? And I just said to him, "Do you think that result is giving you, is it's not working for you?" So going to your point, we have to make things happen. We have to see that our actions, we're getting a reaction. And in terms of success in real estate, it's all up to us when we wake up in the morning, because I am very successful at what I do, but still I don't, have like 10 messages. Hi, Lisa, we heard you're great. Do you want to sell our apartment? Of course not. It's not like that. And it's a constant every day making things happen. And especially, the days that things aren't happening, those are the most important days to be creative, to be making phone calls, to be, I don't care if you're whatever it is, get golf clubs, learn golf. There's 100 opportunities, hairdressers, stylists, where
there's a lot of business on the golf course going on.
A lot of business on the golf course, but there's a lot of business everywhere. And everything, every complaint, people moving, people having, these are all opportunities for for business.
I
You
love
got to
this
go get it.
energy.
You got to go get it. Yeah, it doesn't stop, John. Doesn't stop. We're seeing the same
No.
type of drive with these top 0.5ers. That's what
And
I call you guys
I'm
now.
one of our clients right now. Just quickly, he's a renowned surgeon, and his hours. I think I work a lot, and I always love that. He makes me look. He's up at 4 a.m, and he's in the surgery. He's traveling. He's not home. He hasn't been home for 8 weekends. It's a grind, and I love being around people like that are passionate and are really giving it their all.
Yeah, and you know what? It's nice to hear the grind used in a positive way. A lot of people use the grind in a negative. It's tired of grinding kind of a thing. But no, that's what this is. You got to go get it. Got to grind it. All right.
Well,
Lisa,
that's what makes the city. That's what makes the city so electric. Is you're surrounded by people who love what they do, who are thriving because they like the
high
grind.
energy.
And it's just
Yeah.
if that's your thing, my God, this is the place for you.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. I mean,
But it's true.
it is Frank Sinatra's song, right? That's it.
Which one?
Yeah.
The New York. What do you mean?
I'll take that one. I was thinking of something else. I don't know for some reason.
What were you thinking of?
Yeah. Now I gotta know.
Well, what's that song with I've had a dun 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 dun, dun a carter wheel. I've been up and down and all around. What's that song?
Noah, don't quit your day job.
Okay.
Okay.
See, this is why I don't ask
I'm
these
not hearing
questions.
that. I can't.
This is why John doesn't want to work with me anymore. I'm so easily distracted. This is what he's dealing with.
Yeah. True.
Can we get back on track? Thank you for
let's
driving
go.
me off track. Thank you. All right, Lisa, I got a couple of questions for you left.
Okay.
I'm going to go back on the Manhattan real estate. All right, you talked about the success attributes. You talked about the negative attributes of what you don't look for. What if you want to penetrate the high net worth market? What if you want to get into that luxury?
Mm-hmm.
What have you found tactic strategy that works?
Another great question, because goes back to the other question. What I look for when people come in and say, well, I just want to go, I want to start at 10 million and up. I don't want to bother with that's kiss of death, to start there, because most people don't start there. I happen to. My first sale was a $15 million sale, but that's highly unusual. To get into the high net worth sales, it's a skill set, and some of it isn't a skill set because you have to have a certain type of intuition, way of handling yourself, way of speaking the language of the clients that you're dealing with, so they feel comfortable. So I don't think there's any secret sauce, but I think there's some just internal way of speaking the same language and having people at a certain high, again, at the ultra high net worth, they have a lot of people that want their business. So you also need to really, it's not what they can do for you, it's what can I do for you? How can I stand out? Because
I feel like people need to align themselves with agents exposed to that business so they can kind of watch and learn kind of a thing. It's like one of those types of things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Definitely a mentorship type thing.
Yeah. And as for sure.
Yeah. Lisa, I'd love to ask this. And you've been in the business enough time to see cycles. You've seen boom cycles, you've seen bust cycles, you've seen pretty much everything in between, right? From the Great Recession to the pandemic to the taper tantrum to the new dev boom 2015. You've traded all of these markets successfully. If you had to take all of that wisdom from the last, however long it's been, and go back and tell your earlier self when they first got started into real estate, what are some of the tips that you would give yourself? Just, hey, here's what you need to know to sort of up your game right now.
Yeah, well, I think, one of the tips, if all of us could go back in time, is that every crisis that has happened, whether it be COVID, whether it be, God forbid, 9/11, whatever, it's been the crash, every time that has happened in New York City, New Yorkers are resilient, and the people that had the bandwidth to go in at that time after COVID, let's say during COVID, everyone got great deals. It didn't last long. So I think that, it's like when everyone's going this way, go that way. So that absolutely, that is definitely something that I think there's opportunity when there are situations that most people are fleeing. So I won't say anything out loud, but in the climate in New York right now, there's opportunity. That would be something for sure I've learned.
Yeah, there's always value in this.
And I would also say, and I say this lovingly to my clients, buyers are liars. I heard that years ago. And it's, again, not derogatorily to anybody that I work with, but oftentimes can think of it as dating. Oh, no, no, no. And then all of a sudden you end up in a different scenario. So people think they want one thing. And if you tell me the village, I'm not going to just take you up to the Upper East Side where they're like, didn't you not listen?
Yeah.
However, there may be some other things that what oftentimes we hear something at a client years ago about Central Park South Street, go back, oh, Lizichka, so horrible. And then, guess what? She bought an apartment on Central Park South. So
yeah. So I mean, Noah and I used to exclusively work with buyers, and let me tell you, you hit the nail on the head with that one, because it's just, we're going to start off, we only want to look in the Upper East Side, and next thing you know, you're down in Tribeca.
Right.
It's like, okay,
Exactly.
These are completely polar opposite neighborhoods, but hey.
Well, they don't know what they don't know. What starts out as a wish list turns into a necessities list kind of a thing, until they find it. Fantastic. Lisa, our time is up. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Lisa Simonsen over at Brown Harris Stevens. John Walkup right over there. I am Noah Rosenblatt. This has been Talking Manhattan, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Noah.
Thanks, Lisa.